Welcome to this series of A Beautiful World, A Positive Place. Hi everyone, I am Joyous. Today, I would like to share an inspiring real-life story. This story is about the Japanese diplomat who had issued more than 2,000 visas that saved 6,000 Jewish refugees during Second World War, Chiune Sugihara. When Second World War started in 1939, the whole of Europe was in chaos and anti-Semitism was growing. Chiune Sugihara, a Japanese diplomat, was sent to Lithuania, a country northeastern of Europe, to serve as Japan's consul. The Jewish refugees in Lithuania were living in discrimination and exclusion. Their only escape route out was through Soviet Union on the Trans-Siberian Railroad to Japan, where they can continue their journey to their final destinations. The Jewish refugees needed passports and transit visas in order to go to Japan. When Lithuania was annexed to the Soviet Union in 1940, the Japanese consulate was asked to close down. At the same time, Sugihara had received instructions from his Japanese Foreign Ministry not to issue any visas to those without passports and funding for their journey and stay in Japan. Sugihara was very troubled by the refugees' plight. Many of them, regardless of young and old, were gathering and waiting outside the Japanese consulate. Some can be seen kneeling and crying, pleading him to issue them transit visas so they can escape from their pending doom. He was caught in between the authority from the Japan Foreign Ministry and the predicament of the refugees. He was struggling and contemplating until he finally made up his mind to save them. He began to issue transit visas to help them get out of Lithuania. He only had a small window of time to help them as the consulate was asked to be closed down. In addition, he was made to leave for a new post in Berlin. Before leaving Lithuania, he was putting up in a hotel with his family where he continued relentlessly to issue as many visas as he can to the refugees. On the day Sugihara was leaving for Berlin, the refugees followed him persistently to the train station. He continued to sign visas incessantly on the platform's floor. When he had to board the departing train, he leaned on the train's window in his last attempt to issue more visas through the train's window. Only until the train left the platform, he did stop reluctantly. In June 1941, Germany invaded Lithuania. Soon after their occupation, the majority of Jewish refugees were ruthlessly murdered. This was the darkest and most horrific moments in human history. According to records, Sugihara issued a total of 2,139 visas, and they can all be used to cover the entire families. Conservatively, he had saved at least 6,000 Jewish refugees from their ill-fated destiny. To date, they have up to 40,000 descendants living today. Sugihara returned to Japan after the Second World War ended. He was dismissed from the Japanese Foreign Service for his insubordination in Lithuania and for his accused involvement in financial gains from issuing those unauthorized visas. This accusation ruined his life work and reputation, which resulted him only able to take on menial jobs to support his family. For the most respectable part, he had never regretted his actions. He did not mention to anyone else about the incident in Lithuania. He just thought that it was the obvious thing for him to do and was not worth mentioning. In 1968, the Israeli embassy in Tokyo located and contacted Sugihara. Some of Jewish survivors were finally able to meet up with their brave and righteous hero and thank him for saving them from persecution during the Second World War. In 1985, the Israel government honored Sugihara with Righteous Among Nations Award. He was finally exonerated from all accusations. A year later, in 1986, on 31st of July, Sugihara died at the age of 86 years old from a heart attack. In 1991, Munio Suzuki, Parliamentary Vice President of Foreign Affairs, apologized to Chiune's family for the long-time unfair treatments of Ministry of Foreign Affairs. When Sugihara was asked why he would take such risks to save the refugees, he explained, "Those refugees are human beings and they simply needed help. I believe that was the obvious right thing to do because saving human lives are never wrong." In times of danger, out of survivor instinct, we would definitely consider saving ourselves first. How many of us are willing to be righteous to consider lending a helping hand to others? Sugihara is one good example. In his moment of uncertainties and anxieties, he showed his true courage and righteousness to step up and save thousands of human lives. We have always hoped that we can be away from wars, chaos, and disasters. Sadly, our world is constantly under these threats. We had gone through 2 previous devastating world wars, and we are at present living in the shadow of an impending storm. We have not learned our lessons from the past and are still fighting among ourselves due to our greed and differences. On the surface, we seem to be living in a prosperous and glorious, materialistic, modern, and technological civilization. But buried beneath these prosperities and glories are the sufferings and cries of countless lives. We are all bestowed with an equally valuable life. There is nothing that can be comparable with our precious life. We are all part of this world. Therefore, we are one big family. We have a duty and responsibility to help every of the 8 billion people be free from disasters and fears. We humans are the highest form of creation, and we all should have a loving heart and altruistic heart. Let us be positive in our daily lives and be kind to every sentient being. Gradually, we will have an aura of positivity, and this energy will spread with butterfly effect, bringing kindness, peace, and harmony to people around us and our beautiful world. Let us accumulate more love and positive energies to pass them around. As the saying goes, what goes around comes around, and one day they will eventually come back to you. If all of us can spread love and positive energy together, this world will become a more beautiful place. We have come to an end to this episode of A Beautiful World, A Positive Place. I am Joyous. See you again.